Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Shakopee Chamber Podcast. My name is Tim Zunker, and I am the interim president for the Shakopee Chamber and Visitors Bureau. We created this podcast to help bring you information on a variety of topics and help provide information to our members and the Shakopee community. This week, our guest is Tina Stofferahn with MRCI, or Managed Resource Connections Incorporated. Tina, thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So let's get started with the questions. MRCI's mission is to create innovative and genuine opportunities for people with disabilities or disadvantages at home, at work, and in the community. Please tell us a little bit about MRCI's history and your mission to help individuals become successful.
Absolutely. So MRCI is a local nonprofit, and we support, as you said, individuals with disabilities and disadvantages throughout our community so they can build and maintain those community connections and become active members within their community. We were established in 1953, and we actually started by a local group of concerned citizens. It was during the polio epidemic. Veterans were returning from war, and they were really struggling to become integrated into their community again due to their physical disabilities or mental health. So we actually started providing physical therapy, occupational therapy, assisting with individuals with mental health concerns. And over time, over the last 6 decades, we've really kind of just grown and morphed into supporting a wider range of individuals. So now we continue to support veterans and individuals with physical and mental health issues. But we also support people with developmental or cognitive or learning disabilities. And our services have expanded. So now we provide day support, employment support, additional services for families, all with the intention that people maintain their independence in the community, at home, and at work. So our mission really hasn't changed since day one. We're still doing the same things, it's just bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. That's wonderful. Expanding the services that you offer and everything that you do for the community as a whole. So it's an interesting and a great history for the organization and how you've expanded. That's wonderful. So in regard to services you provide for individuals, please share some information on your family services, day services, license services, placement services, and transition services.
Yes. So we provide family services actually across the state. We are one of the larger organizations in the state to provide services for family, so that, and it's really people of all ages. We have children, we have adults, elderly individuals, and it's really so that they can maintain their independence at home. We provide provide options for people to self-direct their services. So our traditional system in the state is really, here are the services that you're eligible for. So go forth and use these services. And so our consumer directed services program really allows people to self-direct their services, saying, I need this service, I want this service. Please get me connected here. Or it allows people to hire their own staff. So traditionally it's whatever service provider you choose, it comes with their staff. And so these services really allows you to choose how you want your services provided and who you want to provide those services. Really, we employ roughly or just over 4,500 employees in that service. We work with almost 1,800 vendors, and on a typical payroll, we're processing over 120,000 hours of direct care service. So it's a very large operation for our family services, and there's a ton of different options available there. And then our day services. So this is really geared towards individuals with developmental disabilities, cognitive impairments, mental health, physical impairments. And we operate over all of our service areas. So that's pretty much Southern Minnesota and Southern Metro. And we're offering virtual services now, so people can still engage. Obviously, COVID is still impacting the individuals we support. And so we're offering a virtual option to stay connected with their friends and while still learning new skills. And so that's going on. And we actually just started rolling out an in-person day service where individuals can now access their community on a daily basis. It's 100% community based, meaning from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., we are getting to know our community members, and we're really starting to build relationships to be active members and active citizens within our community. And then in Southern Minnesota, we also have EASE, which is really geared towards individuals who are elderly or over the age of 55 and might be slowing down nearing that retirement age. So we don't want to forget about those folks as well. Our transition services are really geared towards individuals who are transitioning from non-work to work. So we have employment exploration for individuals who individuals with disabilities who really might not know what they want to do. They might not have a whole lot of work experience, so they just want to explore their options so they can make an educated decision on whether or not they want to work, and if they do want to work, where do they want to work? What are their strengths? What are their interests? And then in all of our service areas, we're also offering two programs called Bridge and Track. Bridge is really geared towards transition age youth. So that 18 to 21-year-old range where they're transitioning from school to work. And that's a summertime program where it's half day in the classroom, half day on the job work experience. So people really can learn. One, they can build the skills that they need to be successful in employment, but then also receive that on the job training. And that's similar to our track program, which is year round, but it's a 10-week program that is really geared towards adult age. But it's similar, half day classroom and half day in the community on the job. Then we have our placement and employment services. This is really where we are super active in the Shakopee area, actually. So we are really engaged with community employers, local businesses who are hiring our folks. We have staff that are able to assist somebody with the whole hiring process, from applying, interviewing, orientation, that onboarding process. And then we can even work with an employer and work with an individual long-term. So if that person might need ongoing support, or if they're looking for advancement or need additional training, we do have staff who can work with them long-term for that long-term support that they need to maintain and stay successful in their position. So that's kind of what we have going on for all of those services. It's a lot.
No, that's great. And let's go a little further into the because I was looking at your website and looking at things that you did for employers and how you partner with employers to meet their business needs and serve as an ongoing resource in diversity integration. So can you go into details on the work you did a little bit, but go further into details on workforce solutions, coaching capacity, and financial incentives that you have with employers?
Absolutely. So we work with local businesses to hire individuals with disabilities. Really, when you think about it, there's a lot of job openings right now, and businesses are seeking competent, confident individuals to fill those openings. What we can provide is somebody who is loyal, who once somebody learns that job, you're going to have an employee long-term. You'll have the additional staff support to support them through that whole process. So if you might not be comfortable or you have questions about hiring somebody with a developmental disability or a mental health concern, our staff are going to be here to support not only the individual as they learn that job, but also that employer, so that we can start building some of those natural supports as well. So that's one option, is just hire people with disabilities. It's great for the diversity in your organization, and it really benefits really the employees. We learn just as much from people with disabilities as they learn from us. So we also have non-paid work experiences. So if your business might be interested in even learning a little bit more about people with disabilities and you wanted to open your doors, we are looking for opportunities to come in and we wouldn't necessarily pay our individuals, but a group of staff and 4 clients who could come in and get that on the job practice. That's for that exploration service where we really want to engage the individuals that we support so they can learn what they like, learn what they don't like, and then make an educated decision on maybe this is exactly what I want to do for my career. Then we also have job tryouts. So if you do have an opening in your organization, a job tryout is really something where you have this opening, you're not quite sure if this person is going to be a great fit. Maybe we're not quite sure if this person is going to be a good fit. So we try them for 2 weeks where MRCI pays them. And you get to try out this person and you can choose to hire them on the backside of that job tryout. We also have evaluations, which are a little bit shorter term. So if you want to partner with MRCI, we can provide we would also pay the client to do shorter term projects so they can learn and grow and learn about what they enjoy in the community so that they can make an educated decision about their employment path as well. Then for coaching capacity, this is something a little bit new in the last couple of years. But we are here to assist, even if we don't necessarily have a partnership with your organization. If you want some education, if you want education, disability or non-disability specific, to train your staff, whether that's employee engagement, how to build talent in your organization, or disability specific, where it's trauma. How do you deal with trauma? People without disabilities also have a trauma history as well. So trauma, even disability specific, how do you work with somebody with autism? How do you talk to somebody with a disability? What are some of the things that we should be aware of in our organization when hiring somebody with a disability? So some of those educational tools are available where we can come to you and provide that for your staff. And then the financial incentives. There are financial incentives available for employers of people with disabilities. So there's the work opportunity tax credit. And this is where an employer could receive up to $9,600, depending on the employee who's hired and how long they last in that organization. So it really depends on the situation. But that's the work opportunity tax credit. The disability access credit. So this is a non-refundable credit for small businesses that incur expenditures for the purpose of creating greater access in their organization or in their business for people with disabilities. And then the architectural and transportation barrier removal deduction. And this encourages businesses of any size to make either transportation changes within your organization or architectural changes. And it could reimburse you up to $15,000 a year for those changes that you make. And all of these, if you want more information about it, you can find them on our website, which is mymrci.org. So it's all listed there.
No, that's great. And there's a lot of things that I don't think maybe all businesses know about or take advantage of. And it's great that you lay out that you have all that information on your website and that's available. It's a good resource hub for people to go and take a look at this and find out more information about the opportunities that are available for them. So perfect. Thank you so much, Tina. MRCI provides family resources, support, and opportunity to keep loved ones with care needs living in their homes. Would you be able to go in depth on these programs and services you offer for families?
Yes. So this would be our consumer directed services program. And in this service, we have multiple different programs within this part of our organization. So one is the consumer directed community supports. This is where we will assist people in really self-directing their services. People can choose, do I want day services? Do I want employment services? Do I want in-house services? What do I need to be successful in maintaining my independence to stay active in my community, in my home, or at work? It covers services. It also could cover like equipment or technology that might keep somebody more independent in those environments as well. We have a consumer support grant, and this is state funded alternative to Medicaid home care, essentially. So instead of, it's an alternative for people to provide a little bit more flexibility of choice and flexibility in service providers, where they can hire family, they can hire friends, they can hire their neighbors to provide some of those supports for them. So it's somebody familiar to them who's going to be assisting them. And it's an alternative to having a home healthcare person working with you. And then we have PCA choice. This is for individuals, both children and adults, who have disabilities, chronic diseases, behavioral diagnosis. And it's really for participants who need assistance with their personal cares, their daily routine tasks of assistance with eating, assistance with bathing, getting dressed, all of those things that you and I do on a daily basis, where somebody might just need a little bit of extra help doing them. That's where the PCA choice could come in. And then we also have our veteran directed care. This serves veterans of all ages, and we're the only provider in the state of Minnesota who can provide this. But it allows services for veterans to stay in their own home as an alternative to nursing homes, essentially. So they can hire their own family members, their friends, their neighbors to support them in their own home, as opposed to having to be institutionalized.
Okay.
And there's many other. Did you have a question?
No, I was just saying that.
There's many.
That's terrific. Yeah, it's I love the idea of the flexibility of some of the programs where people can bring in family and friends to do that, because I assume these transitions, or the thought of these transitions, is very difficult and it's hard to kind of grasp. So being able to keep the transition or whatever services you're using, is as close to home or as simple as possible is just a wonderful opportunity and tool.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you, Tina. So MRCI has made some changes to the organization over the past year, like so many of us, but you are doing some new and exciting things to serve Shakopee and the surrounding communities. Would you be able to tell us about these changes and how MRCI is innovating for the better?
Yes. So we've really used this pandemic as an opportunity to push our strategic plan forward faster. We always had an initiative to continue to move more and more community-based. And last March, we shut down all of our facilities due to COVID. And we use this as a time to really take a look at who we are, where we are going, and how quickly we can do it. It's much easier to rebuild a plane when it's grounded than when it's flying. So what we're doing is, I can't say that that's mine. Our CEO uses that analogy, and it makes perfect sense. And so we've used this as an opportunity to close our facilities. We are not going to be providing facility-based services going forward in the metro area, because our mission really is to be involved in the community, to be building those relationships through day services, through employment. And so we are recreating all of our services, updating our service model to better serve the individuals in our programs, so that we are truly providing those genuine opportunities for people to learn and grow in their natural environment. So with that said, we've moved to a community-based service model. We're using natural environments to teach these skills. Prior to COVID, we were teaching skills behind four walls. Now we're able to actually see people in the community, bring people into our programs to teach these. We have a huge community out there who have their own interests. Many of the people that we support don't have a whole lot of experience, whether that is experience at accessing their community resources, experience in jobs. And so we're really looking for support from our community to teach us. Teach us about your own passions. Teach us about the skills that you've learned in both work and for pure enjoyment or recreation. We want to provide genuine experiences for individuals so they can make their own decisions about their life. So we're giving them the experiences so that they can learn and grow as a person, just like you and I did. I use the analogy with people that we work with and our families of, I remember learning how to ride a bike and being able to ride around the neighborhood. And once I learned how to ride around the neighborhood, my world got bigger, and people started trusting me more, and I could now bike ride to the store. And now I learned how to make purchases at that store, and I built a relationship with those store owners. So it's no different for the people that we support. They've been in these buildings for so long. Now their world is getting bigger. And they're building more relationships. They're gaining trust and confidence in themselves as they experience new opportunities in their community. So that's kind of where we're going. And in the Shakopee area, the services that we're providing are those day services. Those services where we are providing those opportunities for people to learn about themselves, learn about their communities, build connections. It is still a skill building, even though it looks fun, and it is fun, I will say. But what we're looking to do is provide the experiences so people can actually learn new skills to become more independent, learn social skills, learn boundaries, learn self-advocacy skills, learn even public transportation. Many of the folks that we support have never used public transportation before, but yet that's a service that's available in our community. So it gives all of these opportunities for day services, and we are actively seeking additional staff in that program. We're also actively seeking volunteers, both volunteers where we can go and give back to our community, and also where volunteers come to us and share their own unique interests. So you like fishing? We want to learn how to fish. We might not have ever fished in the past. You like dancing? Let's get together. Teach us that salsa dance. So it's kind of all those pieces where we have community members who would love to do that because that's their own passion. We are providing those transition services. So exploration is up and active. We are seeking partners in that service where are there employment partners that might want to teach us some skills and provide those opportunities to allow our individuals to, one, provide a service for your organization, but two, also to learn their own skills and interests. And those bridge and track programs, those short-term programs where it's classroom and community-based for that on-the-job experience. And we always are serving people who are seeking jobs. We're very active in the Shakopee area. Sherry Tomasco is pretty well known in the Shakopee area and surrounding areas, as she's the primary person serving that region. But we have clients who are seeking jobs. So if you have an opening that you think might be a good fit for somebody, and you can certainly reach out to us for that. So right now we are looking for employment partners in the Shakopee area who are interested in hiring folks or bringing us in to learn about your organization and provide that on-the-job work experience. We're looking for volunteers in the area. Staff who might be interested, or really, as we're rolling our services out again, we're really seeking staff who are genuine, compassionate, but also unique, might be a little quirky themselves, who will bring some creativity to our organization and bring creativity to our services. And also volunteer opportunities in the community. So if your organization has volunteer opportunities, we would love to get in touch about that as well.
No, that's great. It's with COVID and everything like that, some businesses didn't take these opportunities to kind of pivot. And it sounds like MRCI just took what happened last year with the pandemic and just blew through it and innovated and changed things up, and still was able to provide the services that you are known for and you've been known for decades, but not only provide those, but expand on that and just give opportunities not only for the people that you provide services to, but the community and the businesses and everything. So that's awesome. I love to hear stories about organizations and businesses that have made the necessary or made changes that maybe they were looking at, and they used the pandemic as an opportunity to make those changes. Definitely great. So
Yes.
awesome. Well, thank you, Tina. One last question. And you kind of touched on this a little earlier, but what is the best way to get in touch with MRCI about all of the programs and services that we talked about?
Yeah, so you can always go to our website, which is www.mymrci.org, mymrci.org. You can certainly reach out to me. So I'm the director of our day services program. I can be reached at 507-995-7127, or my email address, which is Stofferahn, Stofferahn @mymrci.org. Or you can call our main line, and that will direct you out to the best avenue if you're looking for employment, day services, family services. And that main number is 952, not 952, it's 507-386-5600. So you can certainly reach out to us. We are looking for new opportunities. We're looking for new partners, and we really appreciate the support that we've received from the Shakopee area, and we're looking forward to that continued partnership. So
Definitely. Well, thank you, Tina. I'm excited to see how, as we come out of the pandemic, how these programs progress and grow. And it's just wonderful services that you provide. And I'm hoping that people take advantage of that. And we'll post that information too on our website, and make sure and our post for the podcast, and make sure that gets out to people, and hopefully they reach out to you for more information and look at opportunities to taking advantage of your program. So Tina, thank you for joining us today. The information was wonderful, and there's a lot of things that I learned on it. And just going to your website, there's a lot of information out there and a lot of information available. And, you talked about some of the programs that people can take advantage of. And I'm always really intrigued by the state money and state opportunities that were available for care services that people can use to have people come into, or family members or friends come into their home and help them with their needs. And I think that's wonderful. So it's great information. Thank you so much for joining us today.
thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. And everyone, thank you for joining us for the podcast today. Everyone, be safe, be well, and we'll see you next time.